Shoot me, shoot That's that deadly.
Player one.
I can make them put their hands to the ceiling. I can make you disperse cash for the feeling good. I ain't focused on nothing but cash peeling. Yeah, these niggas ain't no shit, they need to kill it. Oh, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy LUCCI. We back with another one, another installment, another banger. I gotta turn this light on real quick. It's on. Yeah, man, we back with another one. You know how I like to do. I mix it up. My reaction right now, finna be on a movie. Scary one. It's called Malevolent. I ain't heard about it. I ain't never seen the motherfucker. Feel me? We tuning in for the first time. Experience. Like Chris Angel said, experience. That's what it is. So you feel me? If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell so you can see every time that I drop some new shit. Other than that, further ado, let's get into it, bruh. Not too much talking, man. Let's get into it.
The mystery behind the death of 3 girls in this orphanage that leaves many questions. The film begins in Scotland in 1986, where a group of con artists consisting of 2 siblings named Angela and Jackson, along with their 2 accomplices, Elliot and Jackson's girlfriend Beth, run a fake exorcism business to profit from people who believe their houses are haunted. This scam idea originated from Jackson, who was desperate because he was buried in debt and constantly chased by loan sharks. In his attempt to make money quickly, Jackson came up with a cunning plan. He took advantage of the reputation of their late mother, who during her lifetime was known as a famous psychic, trusted by many people before she tragically ended her life.
Don't trust Jackson. He's a con artist.
Using that background, they convinced clients that Angela had inherited her mother's spiritual abilities, even though it was all just an act. Angela played the role of a fake psychic who pretended to communicate with spirits and banish evil entities. Elliot acted as the cameraman who followed Angela while she performed rituals, while Jackson and Beth monitored everything from a separate room through a TV screen connected to Elliot's camera. Their scam was carried out with careful planning. To make it look more professional and convincing, the group used various ghost detection tools such as temperature sensors and EMF devices. They also recorded creepy sounds, ranging from whispers to ghostly screams, then secretly played them during the exorcism set.
Pay attention, because this is old school methods. This is all them shows that used to be on TV. You know what I'm saying? We see on like VH1 or you know what I'm saying, like a random ass entertainment television channel. They used to have ghost stories and all that shit. That should be fake than a motherfucker. That should be fake as hell. Used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid too. But those be what they doing. That's the backdrop. That's the real behind the scenes cuts. You know what I mean?
Once the clients were convinced that their house was truly haunted, they would proceed with the exorcism. When Angela appeared to successfully remove the spirits, they would charge a large fee as payment. Many families had already fallen victim to their scheme. This time they received a call from a man named Frank, who lived with his young daughter Susie. Frank's wife, Maddie, had just passed away a few weeks earlier. Since Maddie's death, Frank claimed that he and Susie often felt her presence in the house, whether in the form of faint sounds or fleeting shadows. Although Frank realized it might just be the result of his grief, he began to feel disturbed by it. Unable to continue living with that constant sense of being haunted, Frank contacted the psychic group, who were actually scammers run by Angela, Jackson, Beth, and Elliot. For them, this family was an easy target, and as usual, everything was prepared professionally. They began by designing a scenario as if Maddie's spirit was still lingering. Elliot set up recording equipment and arranged sound effects they had previously recorded, including faint whispers, soft crying, and gentle calls mentioning Frank's name. All these sounds were played carefully to create a tense atmosphere and convince Frank that his wife's spirit was truly still in the house.
Right.
Maddie?
Your husband, Frank, he called me here. Your husband, your daughter.
Can you see him?
During the process, Frank, Jackson, and Beth sat in front of the TV, watching Angela slowly walk through the house while pretending to communicate with Maddie's spirit. Not only communicating, Angela also prepared to perform the exorcism. With deep immersion, she acted
Wait, what?
as if she was driving Maddie's spirit away and sending it to a more peaceful place.
All right, look, wild card. This joke that they doing, this prank that they doing for some bread, this little scam they doing for some bread.
Um, it ain't finna be a joke. That ghost or whatever finna really pop up inside her. Watch, just watch. I can see it now.
She's gone. She's at peace.
There it is. After the exorcism was completed, Angela stated that Maddie's spirit had been successfully moved and that Frank's house was now safe and free from supernatural disturbances. Frank, who
That's not the
fully
case.
believed what he saw and heard, paid them as agreed. However, something unexpected happened just before Angela left the house. Suddenly, she saw Maddie's figure appear and startle her.
Shit.
We've got to the point
See her nose?
where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is
Look at that nosebleed. That's real contact. That's real supernatural contact. She has seen a new dimension. On her shit.
It caused Angela to fall and her nose began bleeding. After they returned home, Angela looked gloomy and restless. Elliot tried to ask what had happened.
Let's make it a
Angela
movie.
accused her team of secretly adding a new jump scare mechanism, such as a doll or hidden pulley, to scare her as part of the act. But, surprisingly, Jackson, Beth, and Elliot looked confused. None of them understood what Angela was talking about. They insisted that there were no additional tools or effects installed beyond what had been planned from the beginning. The situation only made Angela more confused, and she was certain that what she saw was not a hallucination.
You okay?
When you guys sneak in before or something, rig some pulley?
Yeah, I could kill Jackson.
Got no idea what you're talking about.
The next morning, when Angela had just woken up from a restless sleep, the phone in the living room rang. The voice on the other end introduced herself as Green, a woman who claimed she was experiencing supernatural disturbances in her home. Green said that strange noises kept echoing throughout the house, even late into the night. She admitted she could no longer endure it and asked for Angela's team to perform an exorcism. However, the moment Green mentioned the location of her residence, Angela fell silent. The place turned out to be a former orphanage that had once shocked the public a few years earlier due to the tragic murder of 3 children.
It's a setup.
The incident was widely known and still held many unresolved mysteries to this day. Angela, still shaken by the previous incident and unwilling to take further risks, chose to refuse the job. Without giving much explanation, she hung up the phone. After that, Angela decided to visit her grandfather's house.
Who are you?
But shortly after she left, the phone rang again. Green called back, and this time Jackson answered it. Unlike Angela, Jackson saw every client call as an opportunity to make money. Hearing the large
Don't trust Jackson.
payment Green promised, Jackson agreed to take the job and assured her that he would arrange their team's arrival. When Angela returned home, Jackson confronted her and asked why she had suddenly rejected the offer, especially when they were in such serious financial trouble.
Why is he all beat the fuck up? I thought he was doing so. Why is he beat up?
Angela explained
Somebody caught his ass.
that Green's house was located in an old orphanage with a dark history. The place had once been the site of a tragic murder involving 3 children, and now it had been abandoned. Angela felt that the place was not only filled with painful memories, but also a dark aura they should avoid. However, Jackson tried to convince her that this was an opportunity they could not afford to miss. He knew exactly how difficult their financial situation was, and to him, this job was their way out. After being persuaded several times, Angela finally gave in and reluctantly agreed to follow Jackson's decision. Meanwhile, Jackson's girlfriend Beth noticed that his face was bruised and covered with injuries. She did not need to ask to understand what had happened. The wounds were clearly the result of Jackson being chased and beaten again by loan sharks after failing to pay his debts on time.
Oh. We ain't got a wild card to know what's happening with that. I don't think I called that one.
Beth, exhausted from living under constant pressure and fear from debt collectors, wanted to leave the city and start a new life. But Jackson tried to convince her to stay a little longer. He swore that he would pay off all his debts so they could live peacefully without being hunted down anymore. The next day, their team set off for Green's orphanage. The place was located in a remote area with an old building that was already worn down by time. Upon arrival, the gate was slowly opened by an old man who turned out to be the gardener named Victor. After entering, they were warmly welcomed by Green. She immediately led them inside the orphanage, which was no longer operating after the tragic deaths of 3 children.
Handsome and funny.
Carol's first.
Green then began telling the story of the orphanage, which had once been well managed by her husband. Together, they had raised orphaned children with love and care, but after her husband passed away, the orphanage gradually fell apart. Losing its leader caused everything to spiral out of control until the tragedy where 3 children were found dead in a horrific manner, a case that has never been fully solved. Angela, who had felt uneasy from the very beginning, tried to stay focused on their objective. She then asked Green about the supernatural disturbances occurring in the place. Green explained that at first it was only the sound of children laughing at night, but over time those sounds turned into screams and angry voices that made it impossible for her to sleep. Hearing that explanation, Angela and her team began carrying out their plan as usual. They prepared their equipment, arranged the flow of their act, and of course set up the recorded sounds. Children's laughter, screams, and eerie whispers were carefully programmed to play at the right moments, creating the perfect illusion that the spirits of the children were still haunting the place.
What if, what if, like, what if she's able to detect, like, that's not the same screams. That's not the same voice. You know what I'm saying? What if she's able to detect that? Like, y'all cap, bro. That's not what I hear. That's not the stuff that I hear. You know what I'm saying? They don't ever have a case like that.
Make everything more convincing, Angela asked Green to show photos of the children who had once lived in the orphanage, especially the 3 girls who had died in the tragedy years ago. Green then handed over 3 photos of young girls. They were Missy, Tammy, and Claire, all of them victims of the horrific murders that had taken place there. In addition, Green also showed a photo of her son named Herman.
Terminator.
Herman. Yes. My son.
While Angela's team was discussing their scam scenario, Angela briefly noticed the spirit of Claire wandering around the place. The sight immediately caused her nose to bleed, forcing her to rush to the bathroom accompanied by Elliot. There, Angela began hearing strange sounds again, and suddenly she was startled by the appearance of Missy's spirit. Missy's ghost appeared with her mouth tightly sewn shut, and the horrifying sight caused Angela to faint on the spot.
What was that?
Elliot,
Don't get what you asked for.
who was with her at the time, was confused by Angela's behavior. Realizing that she had passed out, he quickly called the others. After regaining consciousness, Angela insisted that she was fine and that there was nothing to worry about, and they continued their work. Once everything was ready, they began their act as planned. Jackson, Beth, and Green sat in the living room, monitoring the process through a screen connected to the camera Elliot was carrying, while Angela prepared to play her role as the psychic who would supposedly drive away the spirits of the children.
Straight up.
Claire. And I've come to see if you consider leaving this house.
However, as she walked around, Angela instead saw Tammy's spirit, her mouth also sewn shut, just like Missy's.
She wants us to follow her. You really don't see her?
I can't see anything.
From the look in her eyes, Angela felt that Tammy was trying to convey something that could not be expressed in words. Angela asked Elliot if he could see Tammy, but Elliot could not see anyone around them. When Tammy walked away, Angela immediately followed her, but disaster struck when Elliot, trying to keep up with Angela, stepped onto a fragile section of the old floor that could no longer support his weight, causing him to fall through.
Ooh.
Elliot, can you hear me?
Jackson, he's not answering.
Elliot dead.
Elliot suffered a broken leg.
Ooh.
Seeing this, Angela panicked and immediately contacted Jackson through the walkie-talkie to ask for help. Jackson and Angela then went downstairs to check on Elliot's condition. Upon arriving, their attention was not only drawn to Elliot lying in pain, but also to the strange surroundings. Along the walls were
Dang. Look at that.
drawn
Oh
to
my
Elliot lying in pain,
gosh.
but also to the strange surroundings.
Bro, he's done. This is we gotta shoot. We gotta reschedule. We gotta reschedule. I'm not staying. That's out.
Along the walls were writings that appeared to be pleas for help, and beside them were drawings of a child's face with its mouth sewn shut.
Jesus.
Angela then spoke honestly to Jackson, telling him that she could see the spirits of the 3 girls who had died there. At first, Jackson did not believe her because all this time everything had only been an act to make money. But Angela, now more convinced than ever, explained that this ability might have been inherited from their mother. The spirits of the 3 girls seemed to be trying to tell them something important, although Jackson was still not
What a coinky dink, right? What a coincidence.
entirely convinced. He did not have much time to think. He quickly lifted Elliot and carried him upstairs to get help.
Hey, buddy, drop the camera, will you?
As things calmed down, Jackson asked Angela to continue their plan and finish the job as intended, but this time, Angela firmly refused. Confused about what to do next, Jackson decided to meet Green and apologize for what had happened. He tried to persuade her to give them time to sort out the situation, but Green revealed that she had already known from the beginning that they were only putting on an act. Without them realizing it, their microphones had not been turned off, and Green had overheard their earlier conversation.
Sloppy, messy, dog. Don't trust Jackson.
She immediately ordered Jackson and his entire team to leave the house. At first, Jackson tried to argue, attempting to convince Green that they were simply doing their job and had no intention of deceiving her. However, Green then revealed a secret that had never been exposed before. She confessed that she had been directly involved in the murder of the 3 girls. The confession shocked and terrified Jackson. Panicking, he quickly contacted Beth through the walkie-talkie, asking her to pack their belongings and get out of the place, but strangely, Beth could not be reached at all. Realizing something was wrong, Jackson went to the living room to look for Beth, but there was no sign of her anywhere. As he continued searching, the spirit of Tammy suddenly appeared in front of him. Without thinking twice, Jackson rushed.
What the fuck, bro? Hell nah, bro. Meat and potatoes. Here we go.
To Angela and Elliot to tell them that Beth had disappeared. When they tried to carry Elliot out of the place, they were suddenly startled by the appearance of Missy's spirit. Her presence caused Jackson to suddenly suffer a nosebleed. Angela began to realize that she and Jackson shared the same ability, a gift inherited from their mother. Overwhelmed with concern for Beth's safety, Jackson decided to search for her himself, while Angela was told to take Elliot back to the car. After searching for quite some time, Jackson heard a sound coming from the attic. Suspecting that Beth might be there, he immediately went up. He was horrified to find Beth in a devastating condition, her mouth sewn tightly shut, just
Hell nah. It's over. It's over. They all done.
like the 3 orphan girls who had died tragically. Unable to speak, Beth could only look at him helplessly.
Like, cut that shit. Get some scissors or something. A key. Something. Cut that shit.
Realizing that something was terribly wrong with the place, Jackson quickly carried Beth and rushed back to the car. Without wasting any time, he drove at high speed to escape from the house. But in the middle of the road, the spirit of Claire suddenly appeared in front of them. In his panic, Jackson did not hesitate and drove straight into the figure, but it turned out that he had actually hit Victor. Victor's body was thrown away, and their car lost control before crashing into a large tree. Beth, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was thrown out of the car. Jackson, covered in blood, got out and found that Beth was already dead. As he struggled to process the horrifying reality, a mysterious figure suddenly appeared and struck him from behind, knocking him unconscious. It was Herman, Green's son.
He's not dead?
Herman left Jackson momentarily and rushed to the car to make sure Elliot was also unconscious. When Angela regained consciousness after the crash, she stepped out of the car and discovered Beth's lifeless body. She then checked on Elliot, who was weak, and asked about Jackson's whereabouts. Before losing consciousness, Elliot had seen Jackson being taken back to the house by Herman. Hearing this, Angela had no choice but to return there to save her brother.
Done, bro. Done. I like this. I like this one. I like this one.
You took him.
Meanwhile, Jackson was in a horrifying condition, his hands tightly bound to an old chair. In front of him stood Green and Herman. Behind Green's calm demeanor and gentle words hid a terrifying darkness. Together with Herman, they had long harbored a brutal habit of torturing their victims, not only physically hurting them, but also ensuring they could not scream or ask for help by cutting out their tongues and sewing their mouths shut. Helpless and restrained, Jackson could do nothing but endure the agony as his tongue was cut. As if that was not enough, Green proceeded to sew his mouth shut just like the others. Meanwhile, Angela, who had just arrived at the house, was guided by Claire's spirit to the place where Jackson was being held.
Oh, this bitch is the one that killed them girls. She just living with bad guilt. They done fell into a booby trap, man.
However, due to her carelessness, Angela was caught by Herman, who easily knocked her unconscious.
Of
When she
course.
woke up, she found herself in the same condition as her brother, tied up and powerless. Now, she was to become the next victim. Before Green could harm Angela, she ordered Herman to take Jackson to the storage room and finish him there. Herman later returned after killing Jackson. As Green prepared to carry out her cruel act, a sound approached Angela. It was Elliot, who despite his severe injuries had managed to sneak back into the house. Taking advantage of their distraction, Elliot attacked and killed Herman.
See, now that's cool. I like all that shit, but you fucked up. You injured. You could have hobbled your ass to a police station, got the police, and busted that shit. Nigga, barricaded that whole building. Nigga, with all help, bullets, and all that. You want to go over there and hobble your ass with a stick. Nigga, what are we thinking here? There's no niggas in this movie.
First.
Damn, did she already cut her tongue out too?
Green's anger exploded upon seeing her son dead, and she immediately attacked Elliot with a meat cleaver. Elliot, already too weak, could no longer fight back. Not
Yeah.
wanting any more
Now you ain't got no help.
victims, Angela pleaded for help from the spirits of the children who had been watching them. Instantly, the screams of the children's spirits echoed loudly through the house, enough to make Green lose focus.
Please, please help us.
Oh, she didn't cut her tongue out yet.
Seizing that moment, Angela freed herself. With the last of her strength and courage, she grabbed a sharp object and killed Green. As
Hell
soon as
yeah.
Green and Herman were dead, the atmosphere of the house suddenly fell silent. The spirits of Missy, Tammy, and Claire, who stood before them, slowly disappeared, a sign that they had finally found peace. With only Angela still able to move, she left the house to seek help. However, she instead saw Jackson's ghost, wandering in confusion while searching for Beth. Angela broke down crying on the roadside, which caught the attention of a passing car. Angela and Elliot were taken to the hospital to
Get the fuck out of here. This shit has been downgraded just because of that scene right there. You crying all of a sudden the car. Where the fuck was the car at driving miraculously when the attack was going on? When Herman was over there walking his ass over there to boop your motherfucking brother, nigga. And Elliot. What we doing here? What are we doing here? Make it make sense, man.
receive medical treatment.
Hey.
Angela then called her grandfather to tell him that she also possessed the same ability as her mother. Suddenly, a dark shadow, believed to be another spirit, appeared right in front of Angela, and the story came to an end.
Angela and Elliot live together happily ever after. That was a cool little movie, man. That shit was cool. I give it a 6.5 out of 10 just because the ending, man. That shit was cheesy than a mug, bro. What was that? Well, that shit was cheesy as hell. Y'all tell me in the comments what y'all rate that. 1 out of 10, what y'all rate this movie, man. Malevolent. Malevolent. That shit crazy. I like the setup. Green, she's a crazy bitch. All right, straight up. Green is a crazy bitch. That man, yeah, she had me spooked for shit show. When she unveiled the is a part of the killing. You know what I'm saying? When she unveiled that, yeah, we gotta go. Beth missing, all that. Yeah, it was good. It was good for sure. Definitely a good suspense. Um, I liked it. 6.5 out of 10 though, just cause the ending. Just because of the ending. But I could imagine it's hard to come up with a good ending like that when the whole movie is, you know what I'm saying, on some build up. You know what I'm saying? The whole movie was a build up, but damn, it was good. Yeah, it was good. Definitely I'll watch it again. 6.5 out of 10. For sure. Thanks for tuning in with your boy. We out, man. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned for the next one.